What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of the off season. Guys, I'm so excited to be back. So excited to be making videos for you guys again out here at Cultus Lake, the mecca for all things improvement. I love this place. This is like my second home now. It was great going back to Toronto, but there's nothing like being back out here. And like, how incredible is this? This is gonna be home base again for the winter. We got all this practice. Oh, so excited. Anyway, let me just jump right into what's gonna be different about off-season number 2. We've learned a lot last year. We're taking it all into this year. And we're making some pretty big changes, but I'm very excited. Lots of grinding. It's gonna be great. Anyway, let's just jump into it. So the first thing is obviously, we're gonna take everything we did wrong last year and we're just not gonna do it again. I learned a lot from just going through the process last year and really learned a lot about what the difference is between being a really good amateur and being a professional golfer. That really clicked towards the latter half of this past year. And so as a result, a lot of the things I did last offseason were good in terms of becoming a better amateur, but for where I wanna go, it's just not gonna be the route. And so we're making some changes to how we practice, how we go about things, our mentality, our accountability, all of those things. That's gonna be a big difference between this year and last year, is just taking all that learning and understanding actually what translates. I think there were a lot of things last year that I worked on that, again, made me a better amateur, didn't make me a better pro, and put me on that path towards becoming a pro golfer. So all good learning. Again, can't hate. We just take all that good learning in and now we apply it. So when it comes to application, we're gonna have a big overall theme for this offseason, and that is the Michael Jordan mentalities. Now, got a new hat, repping the Chicago Bulls. I've been a big fan of Michael Jordan my whole life. I went and saw him play in the 90s when the Bulls came through Toronto, when the Raptors first got a team. And I have like a shirt, like a Bulls shirt, and I made a poster and Michael Jordan rocks on it. And anyway, one thing I've always said though is that, you know, in my pursuit of greatness, right? The reason why I'm also doing this challenge for myself is I want to pursue greatness. I want to pursue excellence. And when I was going through my music journey, I would always use Michael Jordan as a benchmark for excellence. And I want to bring that into the golf journey. And so I've got the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls hat. We've been watching The Last Dance. And I want to show you this clip here that I found that Tony Robbins talks about interviewing Michael Jordan, and just what he says is his big thing that makes him great.
Michael Jordan, I remember I interviewed him years ago, and I said, what makes you the best in the world? Is it skill? Is it talent? Is it ability? Is it background? Is it training? And he was so awesome. He said, Tony, I can tell you the truth and it won't sound like hyperbole or false modesty. He said, I didn't even make the high school basketball team my sophomore year. I was cut. He said, what it is every day I demand more from myself than anybody else could possibly expect. I don't compete with other people. I compete with what I'm capable of.
And see, that's what golf is. It's that accountability to yourself. And so because this isn't a team sport, all I can do is put the accountability and put that hard work and hold myself to the highest standard possible. And I think I did that in some ways, and I think in some ways over the past year, I could have done a better job. And so we're just gonna double down on that, bring that Michael Jordan mentality of excellence towards this offseason, and make some big progress. Now, how's the actual game trending? Well, since I haven't been making videos, I've been nonstop grinding, and I've been working on a lot of things that are just taking a bit of time, but they're all putting me in the right position to succeed. You know, I talked about back in August with some of my videos where my coach Max and I were grinding out some final changes, and I got some cool stuff coming for that to kind of show you guys the overall blueprint of my swing. Plus, in a couple weeks, it'll be the 1 year of me doing the George Gankis program, so I'll do kind of a transformation on that. But I've just really been grinding on kind of the boring parts of my game that will make me a consistent pro golfer. And when it comes to content this offseason, I think one thing I battled last year was kind of the balancing act of making content for YouTube, but then also content that actually moves the needle from a skill perspective. And there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that are golf specific that are fun to watch, but they actually aren't making me better and making you better by showing you things that actually translate. And so I'm gonna change my content up a little bit this offseason because I noticed that just getting good at golf is actually, it's not rocket science. It's kind of a little bit boring and straightforward. And I guess there's just not as much meandering as I thought there was. And there's just, because there's a lot of different opinions out there. There's a lot of confusion. And what I'm kind of hoping through my journey is for you guys to learn from my mistakes. And if I can shortcut your journey, then that that would make me super happy, because obviously, I'm going to try as many things as I can to see what actually moves the needle. And I did a lot of that testing last year, and I tried a ton. And there were a lot of things that didn't work. But at least now I know, and now you know. But I've put together a plan with Max that we're going to be grinding on that centers around essentially me becoming repeatable and extremely confident in my game. I never stood up to the tee this year and felt like I could own it the way I need to feel like I own it. In my music career, when somebody sends me a song to mix, like, I have that Michael Jordan mentality. You can't touch me. I have put in so much of that work that I just know exactly what to do. And my frustration with this year was that just my path to get into that feeling has just taken a little longer than I expected, but not actually longer than it took me in music. It's just in music, I didn't have a YouTube channel that I was documenting the progress. So I, had the same rate of failure of trying to figure it out. I just didn't have to post videos while I was failing. Just going through all that was an interesting process, but again, I've learned a ton. I'm bringing it all together. And though I'm not seeing the results, mentally, I've conquered a lot of those hurdles that have allowed me to just remain patient right now and grind on the things that I know are going to make me better. And I will start to see the dividends of that the more I hold myself accountable to that Michael Jordan mentality that I'm talking about. So the exciting part is we have a path forward. We have a blueprint for how we're going to go about this off season. And it's already in motion. This isn't something that we're starting from a cold start right now. I'm actually a month in already. So you guys are catching me in stride. The first thing is I've been working out like a madman and eating like a madman. The hope is this year I can actually put on that 10 to 12 pounds I was hoping to put on. Last year, I just really struggled to find the right nutritional balance to gain some of that weight. Though I was able to gain some of that speed, I wasn't thrilled at some of my conditioning coming down the stretch when it came to core strength. So I've now got a full program that I'm following, plus I've got some experts that I'm bringing in to help me just further my gains in that area and help me build my body to the point that I know it can be, because I am very athletic, but I need to take advantage of that more by just getting rid of some of the structural things that were holding me back. From a swing perspective, we got a blueprint, and I'm so excited to show you this. This has been one of the coolest things I've ever done. Coming up, I'm going to show you a blueprint of we've got my swing in a spot now where we know exactly what my swing is, and now I just have to rehearse it. It's not what do I do? It's we've nailed my matchups, we've nailed all my mechanics, and now it just becomes ingraining that motion. A lot of this year was spent trying to find this, and thankfully now, through the stuff Max and I have done, we're at that point where we've got the pattern that fits me, and now I just need to woodshed that over and over and over. So that's really cool, and I'm so excited about that. And that's even translated into the short game, which is really cool. Like my wedges and stuff have just gotten even better as a result of having this pattern, but we're no longer searching. We found it. And so now it's just repetition, practice, holding ourselves accountable, grinding. And then on the mental game front, I think that's actually been the biggest area of improvement. What you guys haven't seen behind the scenes over the past 4 months is I have made massive strides on the mental side, to the point where like I'm playing tournament rounds now, and what's been failing has been some skill issues that now we've ironed out. And so now that we've got this swing blueprint, we're understanding exactly where my issues are coming from in a competitive setting versus a casual setting. So we've got all that nailed. But what hasn't happened in a competitive setting in a long time is that self-destructive mentality that I would tell you guys about, where I'd be in a tournament and I would just absolutely, go to the bottom pit of just self-hate. And that's gone. Like, I have done a lot of work on that department. I know that was always going to be a big hurdle for me, but honestly, I'm really pumped. I'm really proud of myself for that work, because that was a mountain I didn't think I was going to be able to climb. I don't know. That's a tough ball game. So that's huge. And I'm going to be talking about some of the mental health side of golf and just things that can help you guys, because there was some stuff that I've come across through this and that I think could be helpful. And, golf has a weird way of kind of mirroring our life. And I think being able to sort out some of the off-course stuff can help the on-course stuff, that whole thing. Anyway, all in all, the mental side is great. So we're moving in a great direction here. So with that, I'm gonna get back to practicing. I'm so excited to be back and making videos. Please let me know in the comments below anything specific you'd like me to go over this off season, or anything you'd like me to dive into that, you know, some learning experiences that you noticed in my videos that you want some clarity on, or anything like that. I'd love to kind of address those during the off season and kind of show you some of the things that I learned from some of the mistakes I've made and how that can help accelerate your learning. I'm just so glad to be back here. I'm so thankful to have this place and be able to work on my golf game and get to the point where I know I can be. Because ultimately, guys, the reason why I'm grinding on this is that there is a place where I know I can get to. And my frustration that you've seen has come from the fact that I'm just not producing the physical results to get to that place. But I know I'm gonna get there. And I'm really confident and excited now through all the learning. I've been humbled this year with just some of the unforeseen roadblocks that I had to conquer, and things that I thought I was much further down the line on than I was. All that's been great learning, and I think puts me in a better position now to actually make improvements without maybe getting sidetracked with things that aren't going to move the needle for me. So all in all, very positive. Thank you for being patient in my absence when there wasn't any content. Again, let me know in the comments below anything you guys want to see this off season. I'm super pumped. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you on the next one.